First of all, how was it for you to join the cast of Outer Banks, and had you binged season 1?
I did binge season 1. I started it and I started it after I got the call for the audition, and I watched the first one because I loved doing my homework, right? And then I was completely hooked. I stayed up all night.
It's that good, right?
To the end, but it's that good, and it draws you in.
Yeah, your character really shakes things up in season 2. I want to break down that finale moment first. I want to get right into it. John B's dad is alive.
Okay, let's do it.
Somehow working with Carla Lambray.
Apparently.
Is she the villain that we think she is?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, I think my answer to that always is she doesn't think that she's a villain, right? But I wouldn't mess with her.
I know
she has a lot of power. She's a feisty one. She has a lot of power and she has a lot of entitlement. And I think that she's also has nothing to lose, right? So I think those make for a dangerous person, in my way of thinking, from my experience.
So then, that being said, I feel like we're meant to believe that John B's dad was some sort of heroic man. What do you know about their relationship and what brought them together? Do you have a backstory?
It was so, well, I have a little bit, but it was so fun to see them together. It was so fun to see how much they both kind of yearned for that connection, and I think that we don't get to explore that, sadly, in season 2, but I have a feeling that will happen in the future, and that is exciting to me. They're both such lovely actors and such wonderful humans, and to see them together, they got very excited about it when we were all in Barbados. So I'm really hopeful we get to see more. We'll see.
Do you think that they're working together to keep John B safe, or do you think there's more to this story?
I think there's more to the story. I mean, it's Jonas, right? I think they have some fun things in store, but I, for one, am looking forward to that reunion. It's a shame it doesn't happen in season 2.
I cannot wait for it to happen.
Me too. I feel that way too.
Overall, what did you think of this season and then that plot twist at the end? What were your overall thoughts?
Oh, I was excited. I didn't see it coming. I didn't have a clear idea of what it would be. So when I got the script, I was like, oh, no way, because I didn't know if I would be going to Barbados or not. So that was really the first clue. Is they're like, hey, do you have your passport? Are you ready to go? And the answer is yes. I was. It was really lovely.
Yeah. Have you guys started shooting season 3, or do you know anything yet?
No, I don't know anything. I think it starts in the new year, and I don't know. I mean, it's one of those fun shows that I love because it's very much along the lines of the books that I love. It's a thriller, right? So and an adventure, and in a mystery. That's it. So I really enjoy getting each new script, and I don't often ask for spoilers, although sometimes I'm like, okay, why?
Yeah. I just want to know.
Why do I do this? What should I do here? I just want to know. Yeah. I just want to know because I'm curious. But yeah, I think we'll just have to wait and see.
What would you love to see? I know nothing's been written yet, but what would you love to see from Carla in season 3, if it were up to you?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. I would like to kind of fully explore her relationship, and also kind of like her relationship with her own mortality. I think that we have these creatures in life who think that they're above everything. They're above the law, they're above the rules of society, they're above all of that. And I think that Carly thinks that she's above death. So I think that that's a very interesting thing to explore. That kind of hubris in a character is fascinating to me. And of course, I loved playing with the kids. Like, I found them to be the most delightful, funny, irreverent, fascinating people. So it'd be fun to have more things with them as well.
I love that. The cast is, I feel like I've been interviewing them since before season 1 came out, and they're just the nicest kids.
They're so nice.
Yeah, they're really
and they were so welcoming, and they're lovely, they're humble, they're kind, they're excited, you know, all the things that you love to see.
Yeah.
Nobody's like too cool. Everybody's really just doing their thing and happy to be there and doing the work. And yeah, I'm nuts about them.
Speaking of the kids, we do find out in season 2 that Pope is related to Denmark Tanny. Carla really wanted the cross of Santo Domingo. Where will that whole storyline?
She really wanted it. Yeah.
Yeah, she wanted it so bad. She was like, this is going to add years to
Yeah.
Where do you see
well,
that
I mean, you know,
storyline?
this is the difference between life and death.
It is
Yeah.
for her. Where do you see that
for
storyline
sure.
potentially going?
It's fascinating to think that there could be a miracle and that she could be healed. Obviously, she can't exist without the hope of that, you know. So that's kind of a fun thing to play. So of course, you know, in a dream sequence where Carla becomes a superhero, it would be really fun to see her be healed and to kind of come back to life. I'm fascinated by the psychological ramifications of that as well. Like what happens when our minds like lead our bodies to health, right? Like what that looks like,
Sure.
you know, as well as the idea of how can we heal ourselves, and then what happens when we can't. Where does that go for us? Which I think is actually even more interesting when we have to give in to mortality, to the end of our lives. That's really interesting as well. So I mean, the whole thing is really kind of fun for me. Whatever avenue they choose to go down is going to be a wild ride, as it was from the beginning.